Ram truly rocks.
Mason, you want to hear a story?
Sure, buddy.
All right. When I was with the window and door company, we were replacing glass quite a bit. So I'd have to take it out of units, put it back in. And I had a pretty good record as far as not really breaking pieces.
Oh, here we go.
You know which one? Yeah, you know which one
I
we're talking about.
Yeah.
The other thing was there were a couple times where we were figuring out how strong we were. So there'd be some units where we'd be able to lift just two of us and just get it done. Like we talked about with those temp guys where it was like you tell them just to stand there and watch us just manhandle a fucking door. Well, we had this house up in Desert Mountain, nice community, Cave Creek, multi-million-dollar houses all throughout, golf course community. Anyways, they had, the metal guys had been using their angle grinders right near the windows and just shooting shards right into the windows. So you could come up to it and just feel it with your fingernail, and the homeowner had brought it to our attention that, hey, it looks like there's some stuff in here, so they were going to have to pay for the new pieces of glass that we were going to bring out there, take it apart, and replace. So they've got these decorative bars that are on the windows. So the way that this works is back in the day, they couldn't make glass as easily as we could in the sizes that we can. So they would do divided lights. So that's why you'd see in old steel windows, you've got the pieces of glass that are about like 12 inches by 12 inches, whatever it is, right? And so to simulate that same look, they'll put a spacer bar in between the two panes of glass. And then they'll, on top of that, they have what's called an SDL bar. It's just a decorative bar that is adhered with double-sided tape. And we're going to get to why that's important here in a minute. Anyways, this brings us to, we have this piece of glass. It's on the far side of the house. And we kind of got the impression that they didn't necessarily want us walking through the house. So we're like, all right, whatever. It's kind of on the second story. There's some exterior steps leading up to this place. So let's just drag this piece of glass around the house, up these stairs, and we'll go from there. So Joe and I are walking it around the house. I've never broken a piece of glass, like transporting it to the location. We start going up these stairs, and it was something with the length of the glass, just how it was shaped, whatever it was. All of a sudden, we hit this moment where we're in this awkward spot. I'm like 2 steps short of the top.
And there's servant steps too, so they're shallow.
Yeah. Joe is probably 2 steps from the bottom, and it seems like we have this oh shit moment where we kind of look at each other and realize like, fuck. Edge of the glass hits the corner of a step, just explodes, because that's what tempered glass does. It's extremely strong. Like sometimes you could like throw a baseball off of it. If it's in the middle, it'll just bounce off. If you hit that edge though with a stone or a piece of metal, the whole thing just explodes. So like he's on the bottom of the whole thing, so he's getting just glass rained down on him in that moment. So I'm like, oh dear God, which in the end was all right. But went and told the homeowners, hey, we screwed up. We're sorry. We're going to get a new one. We'll drag it out here. So this time, we're a little smarter. We get 3 people to drag this thing out, and we're going through the house this time rather than around the house, and kind of like, hey, let's just make sure we get there safely. And we get there. We're pulling this thing apart. We're getting it all installed. And we're getting ready to wrap it up and put those decorative bars back on there. Because we can clean them off from the double-sided tape. And it's like a heavy-duty double-sided tape. It's not like that Scotch tape shit. Anyways, we're getting all set to put those back on. And I forget who pointed it out. But all of a sudden, Joe pointed it out. And he's like, hey, look at the windows right next to this one. And there's 3 or 4 windows that are in line with this one, and all the SDL bars are at the same height except for this one. And there's nothing we can do about it because it's the internals that are off. And we always set the externals to wherever the internal is. So we were like, mother of God. The other funny thing about this was like, this is the last, I think this is the Thursday or Friday before I'm leaving to go jump into real estate. So this was supposed to be like, all right, one last ride, boys, right? And then we're like, mother of God. Good news was it was on the window manufacturer that's like, hey, we told you what unit it was supposed to be. You manufactured it wrong, so give us a new piece of glass. And
how long did that take?
What, to get the new piece of glass? This was probably like 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks roughly. 2 to 3 weeks is what you expect turnaround to be in certain cases.
Was the homeowner living in it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is like, dude, remember, multi-million-dollar house, it's a couple living in a 5-bedroom house each that basically is like a master bedroom,
Ferraris in
essentially.
the garage. Not rented, owned.
Yeah. So this is one of the bedrooms that is for if they ever have like a lot of people in town. So the glass is in. There's no issues. Like it's weather tight. It's just more the aesthetic that we want to kind of put this project to bed.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they were fine because they had a whole multiple thousands of square feet of house to go live in.
Have you ever asked a client to take you on a drive, like in the Ferrari?
Oh, we've got a story about that.
Got a better one. We went with a company. They were building a house for them. We got the install for their windows. We put the windows in. Our company did. And then we came back to do the service like we typically would. Make sure all the hardware is on. Make sure everything's rolling well. Talk to the homeowners. Make sure they're happy. But the house was really unique because it was getting put in a magazine called Iconic House, I believe. So really big deal. They had a designer per room. And when I say per room, I mean down to the bathrooms. They had 21 designers in.
Our first caller for the podcast.
I thought I put that on silent.
You did not.
What is it?
It's Lance.
It's Lance.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Lance.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Tell him you're on the podcast.
Hold on a second. You're live on the podcast right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Are those birds? Is
All
those
right,
birds?
well, never mind. Call me when you're done.
Was it sexual?
Always.
Okay, good.
The good kind of sexual?
But, yeah, I was wondering if you were in, if Thursday or Friday instead of golfing, if you wanted to go shooting.
Like shooting guns?
Yeah, like shooting guns.
Fuck yeah.
All right, cool.
You still got your grandpa's revolver, the 45?
The 357, yeah, that's my dad's.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, my grandpa's gun is a little 22 that's broken.
Oh.
Yeah, we can take that, but I need to shoot the guns before I buy them. My cousin and uncle told me to shoot them all before I bought a Glock, so now I have to do that.
We can shoot mine, too.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. And then I want to rent a Springfield Hellcat and a Glock 43 so I can shoot them all.
Glock
Scott's
43
Club.
solid.
Yeah.
Dad says the Glock 40 something.
Glock 43 solid. I've got the 48 currently.
Glock 19, good.
And the Glock 19.
The 43 and the 48 though are the single stack.
Yeah, small boy.
I have a 19.
Oh, nice.
You do?
I have a Glock 19
Yeah, he
already.
wants a concealed gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
19.
I'd get the 48. It's a little bit longer
Yeah, I
of a
know.
slide.
Yeah, it's longer. It's harder to hide. I'm not trying to...
It's not that much
shoot
longer
people in
though.
close quarters.
Tell him it's your penis. That's a compliment.
It's not... I can't understand it. He might be giving me good advice, but I
He
can't
did.
hear
He
it.
said it's your penis, so it's a compliment.
Well, so the 43 is far more like it
Listen.
than the 48, if we're being honest. You know, I got the snub nose.
All right, I'll call you when I'm done.
I'll text you. It's all good.
All right, later.
All right, bye.
All right. Anyways, back to this house.
Oh, yeah.
Designer per room.
Designer
Iconic
per room.
house.
Yep, iconic
Fuck the house. I want to know about the car.
We're getting there.
Oh, yeah. All right, so they're doing a big like magazine reveal for this house because we had all these designers, blah blah blah, sold for crazy money. The builder was chipping in out of his own pocket like quite a bit to like really make sure everything went smooth. Like he sold a bunch of his like toys to make sure all the money that needed to be there for the house was there. Well, when a couple of local companies found out how big of a deal it was going to be for the magazine, some people locally decided they want to get in on the action for some advertising space. Essentially, BMW is one of the companies. So BMW showed up with like 7 or 8 cars, and we're at a house with an open bar, mind you, and all you had to do to drive one of the cars was be invited to the event, have a driver's license. They could have watched you drink 4 drinks at the bar and not said anything. Here you go, have fun.
So they were having like an open house for a couple days in a row where some of them, they were having out brokers because they're trying to like incentivize people like, hey, help us sell this thing, or who's going to be the one who's listing this, crap like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but during that time, they're also inviting out some of the vendors who were there, stuff, and that's who was like, here's the open bar, here's these cars.
So how many drinks did you have before you took the BMW out?
0.
Smart man.
Yeah. There was no liability on my end as far as I understood. Either way, though.
Okay, well, in Minecraft, how many drinks did you have?
Also 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the drinking was done afterwards.
But what'd you get to drive? What was it?
It was an M4.
Ooh.
Yeah, brand new M4.
How fast you get it?
I didn't get as fast as I wanted to, and once I got behind the wheel of it, I was like, okay, I might get a little snappy with this thing, and I realized, like, oh, like, if I get snappy with this, like, I could go south super fast.
We're in the middle of Paradise Valley, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're in
Yeah.
the neighborhood, not...
Speed camera central. If you want to see
Yes.
every speed
Oh my
camera in the
gosh.
state of Arizona, you go into the
Were
speed camera.
any of them manual?
No,
That
unfortunately
would have
not.
been fun.
Well, they some of them had the paddle shifters.
Not the same.
It's not the
Clutch.
same.
Yeah,
Clutch.
yeah, I know.
There's more control.
Yeah.
You're talking to guys who own manual transmission cars right now.
I technically don't own one, but I've owned several.
I kick the piss out of my clutch for fun every time I drive my Miata, which has been a while.
Yeah, you should have seen. I was ripping that clutch when I drove his truck to get the freezer.
When so how we got invited to that thing though was crazy because we built a good relationship with the superintendent and the owner of the construction company. It's T-Mac, if you guys want to look him up.
Super good dudes. Really solid. They will build an hell of a house.
Yeah, they do a lot of commercial, industrial, all that stuff. Anyways,
Do they need somebody to sell it?
I don't know.
They may
Not-
have someone on their payroll doing it, honestly.
You
They're
still have
possibly.
that connection? Should set it up.
Not as well as we had before. Because back when we were over there, like, basically, they were nice to us. We took care of them. And so we were there the day after their first open house where BMW was there. So we were joking, like, Joe was joking. He's like, hey, if you want someone to help you move those cars, just let me know and we'll come over. And the superintendent, Lee, goes... He's like, well, we've had a couple people drop out from the invite list of the open house tonight, so if you guys can be here at this time, he's like, we're driving cars between 3 and 5. So we were able to get there like at 4:30. I think we each, like, you went home and changed. I went to Walmart to get like a nice collared shirt because we didn't want to just look like
construction workers.
yeah, when we showed up. But so we're able to go tool around in the cars, and then we ended up hanging out with them. It was probably like 6 of us. It's the owner of the construction company. It was his superintendent. Was it the electrician or the low volt guy?
I think it was a low volt guy.
Low volt guy and his wife.
Because, yeah, I remember that dude walked up and was like, yo, control 4, like, what up?
Yeah, and then one of the designers and us.
Yeah.
And they bring out champagne and they're like, all right, guys, we need to kill it. We were out there, like, with all of them just shooting the shit until 7:30, 8 o'clock that night. And I don't know. It was one of the just coolest things where some people could have just told us to piss off very easily. And they just let us hang out. And we were just flies on the wall. Didn't really interject too much. But it was just a good time.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
There are some perks to the job, for sure.
Yeah. Especially when you meet good people.
Yeah, a lot more good people in this industry than I would have ever imagined.
Yeah. All right, boys. We just had Easter this last Sunday. Did you guys do anything fun?
Only had to go to one place. That was nice.
Yeah.
Got to do Easter in the new house.
Nice.
Kids piss me off.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, because we told them, they've got a little like alarm clock that's red, yellow, and then green when they can get up, and it's set for like 6:15. And we told them you can't get up till the light's green. They get up at 5 o'clock, and then they get mad at us because we told them to go back to bed. And then 6:15 when they came back down, there was already like half of the eggs already just sitting at the table because they already looked for them.
Hey, that's some initiative, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we did that, and then we just got to hang out all day, and then went to dinner. It was very nice. Unlike most holidays where we have to go to 2 or 3 places in a day.
Yeah. What did you do?
I set my new score in bowling with my dad.
Yeah.
What
My
is
brother
it?
Came out 188
Damn.
That's it?
so far. That's where we're at.
Dude, this guy was starting like below 100, and this is like a couple months ago, and he's just steadily stacking it up.
I've always wanted to get into a league.
It looks like
But
fun.
more of a fun league, not a... Because some of these guys...
Oh yeah, they just
Like one of the guys I play fantasy football with, like, he just bowled his, like,
The
fifth
minute you see a
300
jersey come out, like it's game over, dude.
Last time I took the kids bowling was actually like a couple months ago. Bowled my best frame ever. 219.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I think I've never gotten to 200s before until then.
Are you on rentals?
Like rent everything?
Yeah.
100%.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting a ball because every bowling alley I've gone to has like the worst 13-pound balls I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Do they have 13-pound balls?
Yeah. It's
Some
8 to
places,
16.
yeah, some people will.
Yeah, but they don't have like little numbers. Like usually goes like, doesn't usually go like, once it gets to 8, it goes like 8, 10, 12, 14.
No. You've got every pound along the way.
For the most part, some alleys will not. I mean, 13 is just trying to.
Where's your home alley?
Home alley? God, I hate it. It's this stupid spot. I can't remember the name of it. Bolero. That's what it is. Bolero, North Scottsdale. Terrible.
Oh, yeah, you can get drinks ordered over there.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can have them
Most
brought over
of
the table
them,
and everything, but it's $8 a game. Last
Yeah.
time I went, that was terrible. I spent
You pay for games? I thought you just paid for the lane hourly.
no. I mean, some places
it
might.
depends. Sometimes you can
So
get
it
a
probably
special.
depends on when you go.
Yeah.
I had to rent the pool table hourly last time I went too. That was
Are you
terrible.
good at pool?
I'm getting better. I realized though it's kind of hereditary because I played with my dad when we were out on Sunday, and he blew my fucking doors off in a couple of games, and I jumped back and I kind of learned some shit after watching him. Like, okay, let's play this, and I started safetying the hell out of him. He got mad.
Speaking, are we playing any games like that for your bachelor party?
I think we're playing poker for the most part.
Nice. What's the vibe? If I get a midget stripper, is that going to throw off the vibe?
Depends, guy or
People can
girl.
get weird.
Guy or girl?
I mean, prefer a guy, but I'll probably just get a girl.
I mean, a guy, I'm gonna die. You know what I mean? That's gonna be great. Yeah.
Like, am I going to get in trouble for?
It's probably going to be frowned upon a little bit. Yeah. What is that? That's like
They have to agree to ride the
that's
dog.
like 2 weeks out. Huh?
I'm the black sheep. Fuck it.
I'm on board.
Less than 2 weeks from the old bachelor party.
You get male strippers. You gotta coordinate this.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, if we're getting in trouble, it's like at least get female strippers.
My brother's married, so that would not go over well when they're coming to his house.
But see, that's why you get a midget one, because it's funny.
And they're easy to hide.
Yeah. It's funny, but yet it's still stripper.
Yeah.
And then you can say to your grandkids, on my bachelor party, I had a midget stripper.
They're gonna have to top it somehow.
Have you guys seen the video on Instagram of the two midgets fighting like UFC style?
Oh yeah.
Dude, my buddy, been like friends since we were like 8. He lived right behind me. He lives in Tennessee now. In the past 2 years, our only communication is he started this. He sends me midget videos once or twice a day.
Nice.
And then now my
Once or
feed,
twice a day.
Yeah, now my feed on Instagram is a lot of just midget videos.
Well, there was that midget wrestling league that came through Arizona recently,
Oh yeah.
and I wanted to go to that. It was out in Tucson. I really
Yeah.
wanted to go to that. Nobody wanted to go with me. I was like,
Really?
what?
I had a.
You
I
ever
had
seen
a
the
friend
videos
who
with the
went to it.
midgets where like they like jump off of something and then like they catch?
Yeah, dude.
You've never seen this?
Uh-uh.
Well,
I'm so glad there's like a community for them to do shit like this and get promoted and paid because that's epic.
Yeah.
If I was a little person, I'd be,
Yeah, it's smart. Yeah, like
I'd be doing some crazy shit. If I was a
yeah,
little
that's right.
person.
Use it to your advantage.
Exactly. I'm doing some wild shit.
Like what kind of wild shit?
Like Wee Man style. Now he's got that van he lives out of in that taco shop. It's pretty sweet. I don't know if he lives out of the van exclusively, but I know he's got one. It's pretty sweet. He talks about how he keeps meat for tacos in it all the time. He's got carne on deck, I believe.
Carne.
Did you find your video?
Yeah, this one wasn't as funny. There's thousands of them. Upon thousands.
It's scary, the rabbit holes that you can go down. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Too many of them.
What are you doing, Joe?
Oh, I'm deleting the wrong way. Why does it work like that?
I don't know.
Why it started deleting backwards? I'm sorry, buddy. Trying to get rid of the Ram Ranch, if you can believe it.
Some of the shit that he sent me.
Whatever.
I want to find a
We'll
good
figure it
one.
out.
I want to find a
All right.
good one. Keep talking.
Went over to my aunt and uncle's house for Easter. We had like 30 or so family members, I think, on my dad's side of the family, essentially. And that's like great grandparents down to, well, it's my grandparents, but now their great grandparents all the way down to they've got 4 great grandchildren that were there or something like that. So it's nuts. And then we had some other friends and stuff like that over. So there's a lot of people in that house. That family's just growing like crazy.
Nice.
I'm about to marry another one into it too.
Very good.
Yeah.
And we'll have another one of you in about 12 months.
You're shortening your time expectation?
What was it before?
You said 6 months.
She's already pregnant?
Well, that's what I'm insinuating. There has to be a period of time where that can happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a little Thaddeus.
Are you though?
My bank
Yeah.
account's not.
That'd
I
be
think my
awesome.
I think I need to be mentally ready for that.
You're never going to be mentally ready for a child.
Yeah,
They suck the life out of you. But then makes life so joyous at the same time.
See, my kid is going to have to like the same things I like to have a healthy relationship if I ever go down that road. They're going to learn about dirt bikes and what have you.
I feel like they'd love that though.
You know what? It's what you expect. I don't think I've ever met a parent who was like, yeah, my kid came out exactly the way I wanted it to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
I sure didn't. I mean, maybe I kind of did. I don't know.
Well, it's hilarious. Like, my parents, they're complete nerds. Like, both teachers. And then my brother and I are, like, we love sports. And it's partly their fault, but we hate reading now. So.
You probably read more than anyone I know, which is the crazy part.
I don't read, though. I listen to books, for the most part. I listen to a lot of books and podcasts.
True. Yeah. But you got literally the Bible app on your phone and this iPad, dude.
Yeah.
That's called reading.
Oh, yeah. So, Forrest and I started this thing, like, last Monday. And it's, if we don't read a chapter of our Bible every day by 9 p.m., we owe the other person 100 push-ups. And if we both don't do it, we both have to do 150.
How do they know if you read it or not?
Honesty.
He calls me every night at 9 p.m. and says, "Hey, did you do it?"
You can just say you did it.
Yeah.
That's called lying.
Yeah, we don't do that.
So that's technically blasphemy. You're lying. And yeah. Right? It's about the Lord and what have you.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. This is going to be your bachelor party.
Yes.
Oh, what the heck?
Yes.
Tell me that's not entertainment.
That's what we need, dude.
We don't need midget.
We could pull that off with rebar. They don't even need a real regular size pole. Keep
Oh my gosh.
scale everything down around them.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot more like
Do you think they build houses for little people?
They don't build them for tall people either. So I don't know. I
Here
mean,
you
they
go.
do
Well, they
here's
do.
little
Like,
houses. Yeah, little
custom.
here's a good one.
Sorry for all of you who are on audio, but if you want to go down a rabbit hole, DM Mason and he'll send
Oh, I
you
got
some.
some for you.
got a few things.
Um,
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Easter?
Easter,
Easter.
family, kids.
Did you do an Easter egg hunt?
Yeah, we did.
Did you get to participate?
Yeah, I got third.
I wish. That fun stuff goes out the window when you have kids.
Not for my family. All the adults are doing it. My grandmother.
What's in the eggs?
Money.
Sweet.
Did I tell you guys about
This generation of kids, man. You guys are young.
Did I tell you about our Easter tradition that we used to do with feeder fish?
Feeder fish. No.
Like
Okay.
little goldfish. You feed
Yeah.
other bigger fish, basically.
So, in Minecraft,
Okay.
my grandfather would go to PetSmart, fill up a 5-gallon bucket with water and feeder fish, and day of, we'd play this game in their pool. Their pool has a maximum depth of like 5 feet. And he would dump the bucket with all the fish in there. And then he'd say, all right, here's the game. Whoever catches the most fish, you get a red solo cup. And you need to get as many fish in your solo cup as you can. So you can use your cup to start, but then you need to start using your hands. And be 3, 2, 1, go. And everyone jumps in the pool. And it's just mayhem from that point onward.
How long do they live in the chlorine water?
We had, I think the record we had a feeder fish live was 2 weeks.
Jesus.
So what we learned though is you have to get like, they've got to go in there, grab them out, get them new water.
Feeder fish are typically bred to like really terrible levels, though. Like they don't have a very long life expectancy, anyways.
So you tried to keep it alive. You
My
didn't just-
my cousin did, yeah.
You didn't just throw it in the pool. Like, what if you just, like, how long did it take them for the die?
Like in the pool.
Yeah.
Some of them were kind of dead in the bucket. Some of them died of shock when they hit the pool. Some of them, it depends. Like someone would die that day if they're in.
Did loser
pouring
have
water.
to swallow one?
No, there was someone who was offered $50 to swallow one live though, and this girl stepped up and just did it.
Nice.
This girl as in like a cousin?
Family friend. Yeah.
She had to earn her stripes into the family.
More like she just was like, someone's offering me $50. Let's go.
Yeah, I'd do some stuff for $50.
I was about to say I would have offered her more for other things. What? Is that allowed?
Got this really long fish, actually. It's a snub nose fish.
Good old Lance. All right, ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sledgehammers in the Office podcast, where we celebrate the heavy hitters on the job site and in the office. Today I'm joined by Joseph Morris. What are we drinking?
We were drinking just peachy peace tea because I like peach and I like tea.
And Mason Oxendale. What do we got?
Because Thaddeus spilt the first one, flavored water.
What flavor is the water?
Like a cherry, Arctic cherry, I believe. With the Phoenix Suns Cup, you know, playoffs are starting.
Are we ranked like third or something?
Fourth.
Durant's playing again, isn't he?
He's been playing. They're 8-0 with Kevin Durant.
Nice. Because I remember he got that big injury and they were like, he's not playing
He
for
rolled
6
his ankle.
weeks.
Jesus, just they overreact on everything. Yeah.
Then I've got the Shamrock Farms chocolate milk, the whole milk, because
Who are you?
I'm Thaddeus. I'm the one who runs this shit.
Okay.
All right. Let's take a look at our numbers real quickly for the inventory and some of our building prices. This is going to be for Arizona, so if you live in the greater Phoenix area, this is going to let you know what's going on here. If you live outside of the greater Phoenix area, this is hopefully kind of a general guideline to what you're looking at. So right now, active homes, we have 9,985. That is down 1,297 from a month ago. Closed, we've got 5,353. down 81 from a month ago. I would say 81 is almost negligible. Interest rate 6.49, roughly the same as last week. I'm not going to split hairs about it. 2x4s 315, plywood 1280, copper pipe 2496, all the same. So our building materials are staying steady. Our inventory is dropping. Our closed numbers are staying the same. Interest rate is staying the same. Mason, thoughts?
With the plywood?
No.
That's just people are still buying homes, man.
Well, to me, I'd say like people are still buying homes at a steady rate, but also the inventory is dropping as well. That to me was the interesting part where
Slowly too, though. Not like anything crazy like what happened in the past. It's just slowly dwindling away.
yeah, but still 12 almost 1300 homes from a month ago.
Well, I mean, 2 weeks, yeah. Exactly. I mean, like 2 weeks ago, there was like 1,600 homes that closed.
Yeah.
So
We've seen a lot. The closed numbers spike, and then these active numbers drop off a little bit. So
yeah, it's just
So is that houses coming off the market for other reasons and selling, or?
I think the closed numbers coming up is helping bring that active number down. And then on the other side of that, I'm going to be assuming that there's probably not as many people selling their house right now as there were before when we had 16,000 active.
yeah. Same people might just be holding off because they don't want the interest rate. I mean, people who have houses probably have super low interest rates, so it's like, yeah, they want to sell or can sell, but do they want to buy a bigger house that has a higher interest rate?
Yeah, meeting people that are like, in their 50s that have a 3% interest rate and stuff.
Exactly. People who refinance too. But they are bringing back the 40-year mortgages.
I thought the limit was 30.
It was. They've had 40 before,
Okay.
but they're bringing them back.
Talk to me. I don't know about this.
Norm standard, you get about 15. Which Dave Ramsey approves. 15-year mortgage or 30-year mortgage. Those were kind of your options. They've had the 40-year mortgage once before, but they're bringing them back out.
When did they used to have it?
Back in the day before me. Not that long, but like
Wait, before you were around or before you were in the game?
before I was in the game, probably when I was significantly younger, probably like 15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
Which, plus and minuses. So the 40-year mortgages with the higher interest rates are going to bring that mortgage payment down, which will make houses more affordable for people instead of having $2,500 a month house payments. But the bad side is that I should have double checked, but I know it definitely in the first year. I think it's like the first 5 or 10 years or something like that. And I know the first year, 99% of your monthly payment goes towards interest. It takes so much longer for you to start chipping away at that principal.
So if you're getting a 40-year loan, you're thinking that you're going to be there for a good chunk of that 40 years.
Yeah, what do people call it? Your forever home?
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
that said a lot.
Or, what I've debated myself is Tim, who has a 6.99 interest rate, refinance the 40, get it low, a little bit lower interest rate, and then just refinance again. Pain in the ass, a lot of work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but like if you're about to go homeless or you're already paying $2,800 a month,
Well, and some
$2,200 a month in rent, it's
some
like
people need just another option.
exactly.
Rent in my apartment is already $2,200, and they were like, "Oh, hey, by the way, we haven't been charging you for your garage appropriately, so it's going to be an extra $125 a month."
The garage thing again. Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. Like even say the first 5, worst case scenario, first 10 years, 99% is going towards interest. If it's the same exact amount of your rent, 100% of it is not going towards anything. But now, if you get a 40-year, you got 1% that's going towards your equity.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
especially in Arizona, Greater Phoenix, your house is appreciating. Like we talked about before. You don't buy a house for a short-term investment.
Yeah.
So that's why I use. Daddy doesn't like it, but that's why I say it'll appreciate. because that's
No,
what
I
his. That's what
definitely-
his. Well, yeah.
I think it's going to appreciate. I just think in the
History.
last year we've seen a slight depreciation.
Oh yeah,
That's
don't
all.
like get a 40-year mortgage and then double check it a year later and see where you're at. That's not gonna work.
up?
Yeah.
Can I sell my house now?
I mean, I'll be more than happy to sell it for you, but let's break it down. It's not the smartest option.
I think we had that on our agenda a couple weeks ago. We never did it. Where we're going to break down some of the numbers on, like, if someone wanted to sell a house a year later or 2 years later or something like that.
Yeah.
We should do that next week or
Have
week
to be
after or whatever.
conventional loan though,
Yeah, that's fine.
because you got to live in it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
He's farting.
But yeah, that's exciting. 40 years, baby. 40 years.
Get yourself a casket home.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna make it 40 years. All these microplastics in our water.
I don't know. I don't look at a more like, even I got a 30-year mortgage. Like, the goal is to pay it off before that,
Yeah.
which should be most people's goal.
Yeah. Which you don't see a lot of people doing, but that should definitely be their goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My grandpa always said, which he built the not my parents, but he built the car businesses. So he was very wealthy entrepreneur. Didn't have a college degree, but he always said, he told us that the quickest way, not to become rich but wealthy, is to tithe and pay off your mortgage as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It's not a horrible thing to tell people.
No, it's about accurate.
Mm-hmm. Do you tithe?
Yeah.
All of your money?
Yeah.
All of it? You don't save any for yourself?
Like, no, I tied off of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You?
Yeah, well, I mean, I consider myself a good guy because I donate about 30% of my paycheck to charity.
You already did this joke last
Yeah, I
week.
got it. Oh, you almost fell for it again.
Do you tithe 10% to the church?
Ow. No. But I do give back in other ways. I just don't have a church. We don't have a church that we really go to right now. Like,
Yeah.
we've been bouncing around.
Yeah.
But I definitely give 10% to causes, good things.
Nice.
What goes around comes around.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Get that prosperity gospel.
These mortgage payments are getting out of control. Please.
Joe, you got a building process for us?
Yes. So I noticed the last couple times we've kind of gone over these. It's been kind of intricate stuff. I figure we can get down to some brass tacks fundamentals here.
Okay.
Like what most people have in their houses.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about the multi-million-dollar stuff. We're going for the niche listener right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, we're going for the 0% that listen, who understand what we're talking about. It's no, this is applicable to all slider doors. Thaddeus, you're familiar with this process. Slider doors, big piece of glass in the center. Typically, you've got 4 pieces of metal. The perimeter of it, the uprights or the verticals, are going to be your stiles, and the horizontals that run across the top and bottom are going to be your rails. So most slider doors, commonly called patio doors, are going to have an adjustment at some point because there is at least 4 wheels underneath these doors, 2 of which are connected at either end. You tighten a screw or loosen a screw to bring that end of the door up or down. So typically you can find them on the outside of the stiles, facing the walls, if you will, or on certain occasions you will find them on the rail that will be facing into the home. So that way no one from the outside can adjust your door and mess with it, of course. What the goal is to evenly level your door out to where you're not only level vertically, but also with the jamb itself so it can lock properly. And what that process is called is cleaning up your reveal. I guess that's one way I hear it described a lot, pretty common, where you bring the door just to right before it's in the closed position, where you've got about, I don't know, like 1/8 of an inch worth of daylight that you can see through it, and make sure that it looks good evenly through the jamb. Put your level on the back of the panel, make sure it's level, and that'll probably give you the best rolling scenario for that door you can experience, and make sure it still locks well. There's some other things you have to do to make sure it locks well by playing with the strike plate that catches the hooks that come out of the door, or raising the door up to a specific height to make sure they reach properly, or lowering it even. But that is just a really common process. I feel like it is super simple. Anyone can really do it. It's just taking the time. It's a little tedious, and you get better at it with time.
It's a little scary too because it's a lot of glass.
It is a lot of glass,
Which
but
everything's self-contained.
yeah.
So you're just basically like pushing one side up or lowering it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to
Thankfully.
take it out.
Yeah, the wheel. Oh, yeah. You can do it while.
Adjusting it,
Yeah, just the door in the hole, ready to go. Hey, this lock's like crap, blah, blah, blah. You make sure the lock lines up. Really easy way to tell if it does or not.
Especially if you've had a slider door for like 10 years. And it's like it might be worth it to just adjust the wheels a little bit, see what kind of performance you get out of it, because gravity's always working. So the more that you use it, the more that gravity's trying to pull that thing back down. So sometimes you just need to adjust those wheels up a little bit.
Exactly. And sometimes, if you're lucky enough, or maybe you're just not clean enough, you might experience an issue where you think your door's out of adjustment, but you look down on your tracks where the door's wheels actually roll, and it is a common misconception that you would spray WD-40 down there to make the wheels roll better. It's a metal on metal system. There's virtually no friction down there. It's all weight being carried across with bearings. Spraying anything down there is just going to give hair and something else to stick to. Typically want to avoid that. You're going to be able to adjust out majority of your rolling issues. And if you can't adjust them out, you probably have a more sincere issue. Pinching in the head track, pinching in the floor track, a lot of different variables here.
Failure of hardware.
Exactly, failure of hardware. That's a good one. But most common issue I run into on older homes, especially in like the 5-year range and up, they're just full of animal hair or dead bugs or something that the door now has to run over, or dust. In Arizona, we have some of the thinnest dirt on earth, it feels like, because it gets everywhere. Vacuum the track on your slider door, especially if it's a new build. It'll do you a lot of good, and make it a maybe not even monthly, maybe like a semi-annual thing where you go through and just do a deep clean, get in there with like a old toothbrush. If you don't have some sort of scrubbing brush narrow enough to get in there, take care of it. It'll take care of you.
Yeah. Grab your kid's toothbrush, get in there,
Only if they mess up.
put it back in the bathroom.
Yep. Also, did you know that using firm level toothbrushes, you go buy toothbrushes, the more firm it is, the worse it is for your teeth.
I've heard about that,
Yeah, you want to use medium to low
Yeah.
and just get the right toothpaste.
What kind of toothpaste do you guys use?
I can't think of the name of it. It's not Crest, it's
Colgate.
Total.
I think that's the one we're actually
Wasn't
using
me.
now. That's me. Let's see what people want.
You don't make that noise unless that's the work phone.
It's the work phone.
It's the work phone. Yeah, use that total stuff with charcoal in it. Pretty good.
Aquafresh there.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my favorite.
Thought that was like a mouthwash.
They also make mouthwash, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You guys ever use the brown Listerine?
No.
It's called whiskey.
It'll fuck you up. No, seriously, the original recipe, Listerine, it's hecked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is the part where we usually transition to Mason's going to talk to us about some part of real estate. He gave us a quick little look at 40-year loans, but we kind of talked 2 weeks ago about some of the plans for SITO long-term as well as for this upcoming year. So we kind of wanted to do the same thing for Mason as far as what's the plan long-term? What's the plan for the year? You've been in real estate for 5 years?
6.
2017.
2017.
Nice. So, going forward, what do you want to see yourself doing production-wise, or in what capacity? And then in this year, what are you looking for your key indicators that you're going to be moving that direction?
So, the overall, so I work with a team. Shoot, I don't even know how many people are on our team anymore. We've got a lot of young guys, probably like 17 of us, 17, 18 of us. But obviously the goal is to, break off from the team and whether it's go solo for a while or eventually start to build my own team. and kind of, you know, started that route. So like that's probably the bigger picture goal as far as like, you know, as generic as possible is to, you know, start my own team kind of deal. And one of the things I started doing last year, which I should have done from the get-go, which everybody should do, is just tracking your numbers. Gives you a better outlook on kind of where your business is currently and kind of will give you a better idea or of where you want to be at. So obviously I prefer to run my business through like referral based ideally, you know. So I'm all about serving the clients I have now versus chasing the next one kind of deal. Because I'm more of a people person. I like to shoot the shit. I feel like most of my clients, you know, I developed that relationship / friendship kind of thing. So I really enjoy that part of the job. So the second part of your question is like, so this year obviously would be the goal would be to get 80% of my business through referral versus like team leads, online leads, people you don't know. So I want 80% of my business to be people that I do know, or people that have referred, people I do know that have referred me to them. What were some of the, you asked like 5 questions in there. Are you writing them down for me?
I'm starting to write stuff down that I want to ask you. So, long term,
So if I was too generic, ask me some more questions.
Yeah. So, I guess you talked about long term wanting to have a team. What metrics are you looking at for yourself and saying, "Hey, I've been on this team for 6 years."
Goal 4.
Okay.
Going in the 4th year, yeah.
All right. So going into the 4th year for being on this team, at what point do you say, "Here's the metric that says I can step away"?
Yeah. So that's basically what the goal is for this year, is to hit that 80% of people I do know versus people I don't know. Because that would be the first step. Would be able to create a business where I can sustain my what do you call it? The way I live my life, you know, as far as, you know,
Support your family, your
support the
livelihood.
family life. Yeah, do things that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the first goal and the first step out of it. And then once I reach that goal, then I can start. I want to start, you know, thinking about starting my own team, going solo, what it would look like. But that's where the numbers have to be, as far as like the ratio. And then once I hit that ratio, I have to double check my numbers, but I think, you know, I don't live a crazy lifestyle. So being able to get 20 closings off of just 80% of my business would be more than sufficient enough.
What would that translate to income-wise?
Pre-taxes?
Yep.
Anywhere between, depending on what type of, anywhere between 150 to 200.
Okay.
That's before taxes, which they take a fuckload out of. So that would be the number, because that's the number I want to be able to build a business that self-sustains myself. And then that would give me the ability to start digging in deeper and start being able to create more leads and be able to start a team. Because the whole point too is that some people just start teams because they want to take a percentage of the commission. They want to add to it. So, oh yeah, come join my team, and you take 30, 40, 50%, some of these teams, of the commissions that come in. I don't necessarily want to start a team that way. I want it to be more of, hey, I have a overload of leads and people that I need to take care of that I can't handle by myself while still living my lifestyle, coaching basketball for my kids, doing all that kind of things. So more of creating a team to help others. Because I tell people who are thinking about getting into real estate or are new to real estate, it's like, you got to get on a team, because they're going to show you the ropes, show you how things are supposed to be done. how they do it. I'm a big proponent. I'm not very creative, so I like to see how multiple people do things and then kind of take from each people and create my own thing. So say join a good team where there's going to be some lead flow in order to build up your database. So I would like to start a team very similar to the team I'm on. That's how he started his team. Is in order just to have too many leads coming in, build multiple, and then once we start getting a couple people on the team, start really diving into the lead generation just to help build the people on my team's database, and obviously to build the team. And then obviously, you do get, for closings, you do get a percentage of it. So that will always help.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of like the step-by-step on where I'm going. Do I have a timeline? No, not necessarily. Should I? Probably have a specific timeline. But I'm probably already a little behind the timeline, which I originally would want. But I've had some weird things happen in life. It happens. That's why you can't be so type A like my friend Thaddeus over here. Sometimes you got to be a little loosey-goosey. You know what I'm saying? But that's and then so I guess even more the ultimate goal would be able to work clients, only clients that I want to work, and have a bit, what do they call it? Have more of a passive income business.
Mm-hmm.
Create a team, multiple teams where it's thriving without me having to be there.
Which I guess the question with that would be, would you see that more as the CEO role? Because my natural inclination is when people talk about passive income that you have to hit a certain level before you can in some way start cashing that in, right? And
absolutely.
One of the things that we talk about with a lot of stuff on the SITO construction side is that we know of one way to make money, and you need to squeeze blood from a stone. You need to be in there just hammering constantly. And the people who talk about like, I get passive income, it's like off of the real estate that I own or whatever. It's like, no, you don't. You either pay a property manager or you're managing those properties because they're going to something's going to happen. You need to take an active role.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like once you get to the point where it's like, hey, I've got 1,000 doors that I'm managing and there's property managers. Like, so at the end of the day, like I don't have to do anything because there's people doing it. Like, do you see yourself in more of that CEO role where it's like, hey, I no longer deal with closings, but I deal with people management and systems management to be able to say, hey, I've got a team that's in Chandler, I've got a team that's in Peoria, I've got a team that's in Central Phoenix. So the big thing is the quality of the team that I'm looking for, or how do you envision what your role would be in all of that?
I had an answer in my head while you were talking. I kind of forgot about it. When I say passive income, it's more of I want to build, a team where I am getting money from the team and the business that I've built.
It's not just a direct one-to-one of your action to the money.
Exactly. It's like that income right there can be able to support my lifestyle, as is. So like I technically wouldn't have to make any sales or anything like that. Obviously I would. I thoroughly enjoy the business. A lot of people are like, just deal with listings, less time. I enjoy showing people houses. You get to know more people, have conversations. So I don't think I'll ever be like that, but I do see it progressing to be more of a overseer. Build systems, have people in place that know how to run the systems I built, because obviously if I get to that level, I got there for a specific reason, not by just throwing darts at a fucking random door, you know? So you essentially build a business model with systems, how you do it, how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to do things, and have multiple teams, kind of like what you would say, in different areas of the market, even maybe possibly, I don't know about the whole out-of-state thing yet. So that's kind of, I haven't, exactly. So this is more generic, I haven't, once I get to that level, things might change a little bit, but definitely be more of a business owner at that point.
What kind of people do you think would make that stuff happen for you, though? Like, describe them. Like, what's the kind of person you want doing that for you?
Doing, like running a section of it kind of deal?
Yeah, on your team.
Yeah, on your team. Like, as far as closings and everything, you've got somebody going out there making connections. They've got your name on their shirt.
Yeah, it would definitely have to be somebody who's not an asshole, not a know-it-all, like somebody who can hold a conversation and talk to somebody like a fucking human being, and also obviously know the ins and outs of the real estate business, which you only learn from experience. So obviously, my cousin wants to get into real estate. I'm not putting him in that position. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would be on a case-by-case basis. I would have to get to know him because I don't think there's one specific personality. I think that different personalities bring different things to the table.
Are there key metrics that you're looking for though? Because like I haven't gone that far down the thought process. Mm-hmm.
But it would just be somebody who is, because with my experience being on different teams, it would be somebody who knows how to manage not people as in the clients, but people as in the real estate agents. Especially, I've learned a lot just from my wife being a teacher. Some of her best years have been when she's been with teachers. Like she taught third grade. Like those four of those teachers, like they became real friends, and that was like her. Even though the kids were really bad, she still enjoyed work because she was around them all the time. So be able to sustain and keep a positive atmosphere where people want to come and do things, so I can't fully answer that question because I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not very good with my words and explaining things sometimes. So it'd be more of like, I would know it when I see it kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that Joe and I have even talked about recently where we've been looking at some of the work that we've been doing. We're like, man, it seems like mentally we're just not always in the place where we want to be. And we've really enjoyed working together. So one of the things that we did was like, I went out and just bought like one of the job site radios because it was like starting to notice that like when we're on a job together, if we just plug in our headphones and move on, there's that disconnect compared to it's like, hey, like when more we create that atmosphere of like, hey, music's going for everyone. It's like you start it's one of those small things that the camaraderie is like, no, we're in this together. It's not that I throw headphones on, I'm in my own world, I've got to do my task, that's it. No, it's all of us. We're together. So with SITO, it's been very much like we've got a whole bunch of ways that we're saying, hey, here's how we need to structure this to make everything work. But what we also want to do inside of that is make the company that we want to work for. That it's like we've all had stuff where you go to work and you're like, this is freaking stupid. So we want to make it where it's like not just, hey, I'm going to go do a hard task. It's going to be like, no, I'm going to go do something hard, but with my guys. And then it's that thing that you get in there and that it's that camaraderie. But bringing it back real quickly to more of the immediate, you said that you're trying to hit that 80% of your business coming from referrals this year. I think it's Alex Ramosi and others have talked about that customer referral is, I think, one of the only compounding advertisement avenues that you have, right? Because if we put an ad out on Instagram, it's how many people can see it, what duration is it in, and once it's done, it's done. And usually you can have a metric that this ad over this duration of time with this much money put into it brings me 10 customers. So if I increase that maybe 10 times, I might be able to get to 100, but it's linear. Whereas if one person tells two of their friends and two people tell two of their friends, pretty soon you're just creating this huge tree. So it's the only compounding way of growth for your business in that
exactly.
aspect.
I'm going about it the similar way as far as because I haven't been tracking it all the time. I just started more recently, but tracking the things that I do, because especially with the referral basis things, obviously I'll track numbers as far as how I get other leads, but referral basis is like, okay, what did I do to my Sphere A, Sphere B clients? This person, be able to look back every year and be like, oh, this person referred me 5 different people. What did I do with him throughout the year to make him refer 5 people? Like, was that because he referred one? Did I all of a sudden start doing more things for him? Or is that the fiance over there? Yeah. Hello. she can't hear us. But yeah, just keep track of what you're doing, and then even if on the more negative side, it's like, why did this group of people how come I didn't get any referrals from them?
Mm-hmm.
Was I not in touch with them enough? And also just through trial and error. I mean, I like to be, even when I start something, I like to be thrown in and just teach me on the go kind of thing. So this is one of those things, this group of people have different, almost like studies. I do something this way for these people this way, and at the end of the year, see how it goes, kind of thing. And I think that's the best way to build something, because I mean, nothing's going to go exactly the way you want to, because even you and I, we have a vision of how we want it to go, but 9 times out of 10, it's not going to go that exact way.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying we won't reach the level that we want, but it's definitely going to be a different avenue.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not against some people. I'm not against online generation, getting other referrals from other things, because that's also how you build your database. So you always want to constantly be building your database, because the bigger your database, the bigger your referral network is.
Yeah.
So
But like we said, the only one that really compounds is going to be that word of mouth, because
you can control it more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you can control that customer experience. And I think in the end.
And I also think, some people, you hear people talk about you want to give them the ultimate experience. You make sure you touch them this many times. But ooh. Yeah, exactly. So Joe would want to be touched quite a bit throughout the year.
That would be nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
8 hugs a day is what it takes to get through the day.
Yeah, but also people are like humans. I'm a good guy and stuff too, but
Say that again, real slow.
people are humans.
They said are like.
Or like humans. Did I say like?
Yeah, they said are like humans.
But it's I really like my landscaper guy, but I don't need him sending me shit every single fucking month. So it's more of, that's why you build a relationship. You get to know the people.
And I think.
You don't do.
I think there's a big misconception on that, right? Because in real estate this is from my perspective. This is where real estate is off the rails with a lot of how they deal with customers. In regards to, it's and there is a truth to it. That's why it's a little difficult. But as far as there's studies that are done 2 years later after someone's moved, do they remember their realtor's name? Mm-hmm. And it's 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, whatever the number is, I forget. But it's they don't. So that's why they're always telling realtors, hey, stay in touch. But the big thing that you look at in any industry is, are you going to deliver a service that is above and beyond what's happening, right? Because when you look at, and there's a lot of people who have talked about this, so I'm kind of stealing it from them, but when you look at average, you've fallen into the middle, right? You're not doing bad, but you're not doing great. Mark Bell has this quote that says, it takes a little bit of effort to be good at something. It takes everything that you have every day to be great at something. And that's where, in some ways, it becomes, when you start to tip that scale, is going to be, when do you start delivering that experience to someone, and what are those things that you can deliver to someone that pushes it over the edge, right? Because if you have a landscaper, even, where it's going to be, hey, they're contracted to cut the lawn, do that, clean up the trees every once in a while. But if there's certain things that they can look at and say, hey, my customers do appreciate X, Y, and Z from me, as far as if it's going to be, for some of them it's going to be schedule, some of them it's going to be if there's a little bit extra that's straightened up. Maybe sometimes it's in some ways it goes to almost that love languages things, right? Where you got to figure out your customer, where it's do they like that little gift that you give them? One of the things that we started doing is, for some of our customers, we have a gift at the end of the project for them. And some of them are just super amused by it and they love it. And for some people, we were talking to the gentleman from the railing, I was talking to the gentleman from the railing job, and I was like, hey, I'd love to know what you thought of what we did. If there's any criticisms, we're trying to develop. And he said, it's the on time thing. And for him, it was punctuality and the communication. So it was okay, there's a lot of people who don't do those things and they find themselves in the middle. Yes, that takes more time on our side. It's stress, it's all those things. But what is it that pushes you from average to great? Because in the end, it goes back to, like we said, it's that effort, right? It's not comfortable, it's not fun, and in some ways, you can get some level of success not doing it. And that's the hard part, because you then have to push yourself to say, no, I'm pushing for the customer experience that I can't see the direct payoff. I can't put $100 into an Instagram ad and see one client come out of it, or whatever your metric is going to be. Because you've got to put in this effort. Some people are going to completely miss it, and you're going to go, what the hell, right? But you got to do it again. You got to shake it off and move on. At the end of the day, there's people who, I don't know, I was listening to a webinar in some ways about some of the banking industry, and there's people thinking that the economy is going to be going all kinds of sideways and things of that nature. It's like, hey, there's going to be one group of people that are going to make it out on the other side. Or I guess there's two groups of people. One, the people who have been waiting for this to happen. They knew that eventually things were going to go sideways, and they've got the cash and the assets to capitalize on this. The other people are going to be the people who just keep going, who say, I'm not quitting, I'm going to deliver that experience above and beyond. Right? So we talked about back in January that the goal was, my goal was, and in some ways it's the shared goal, that for 2023, the goal is to win. Felt like I got kicked in the nuts personally end of last year. So it was
that's your goal.
Yeah.
Because our goal is a certain amount of likes or subscriptions to get you hammered on the pocket. Does the fiance know about that yet?
Yeah, she does.
Okay. Well, because that's yeah, your goal's cool and everything, but ours is
Yeah.
the real goal.
But the goal being, hey, we need to start putting wins together, and it starts small and it starts to compound, right? Mm-hmm. And the only way that that's going to happen is through brutal freaking work. And that looks different in the different industries, but at the same time, at the end of the day, when you go home and you know that, hey, did you swing a hammer? No, but I hit it hard today. That's the thing. So and for us, we've talked about, it's not going to just be, hey, I go run hard, because you can get something out of that. It's not just, we're going to be smart, because, okay, you can get something out of that, but that's not the end of it, right? At the end of the day, you're going to have to put both those together. You can be smart and not do anything, you're not going to go anywhere. If you're working hard in the wrong direction, good for you, you're not going anywhere. At the end of the day, for us, we're going to play chess while everyone else is playing checkers, and we're bringing hammers to work, because we're going to hit this motherfucker in the face.
Yeah, but and the other thing too is that you guys, that's the bigger picture thing, but also in the moment when you're working, especially I know this because you guys have done work at my house, is that in the moment you're not thinking about that. In the moment you're thinking about getting the job done perfectly and at the best to your ability kind of thing. I
think it's the principle though. It's the principle that you have to, in some ways, live by, that says, hey, here's what we're doing.
Yeah, but I think that also, that here's what we're doing, but then, if you don't have that mindset of, I'm going to work hard and get all these jobs done versus I'm going to work my ass off, but that's by every little detail of the job I'm doing is done properly and correctly. And I think that's more valuable, just like with the relationship things. Yeah, you want to build relationships and stuff, but it's more of you don't do it for the paycheck. You don't do it to grow the business. You're doing it to actually have a relationship with, get to know that person. You want, not saying, that's a little cliche. You really want to get to know the person. You don't always want to, but you want to be able to shoot the shit, have things in common, be able to talk about more than real estate and stuff like that. So it's more of you wanting to have relationships with them, and then in return, you're going to build that referral network through it. Same thing with, if you go hard and fast, you do a good job, but going hard and doing everything you can to do the job perfectly right is way better than just getting the job done.
Yep.
So, which I think that's also why, one of the reasons why we connect well on, because it's, it's more of serving people than to just make money.
Yeah. And in the end,
It all circles back.
Yeah. Well, think about it very much like a relationship, right? As far as
Oh shit, let's talk about relationship because his fiance's out here.
like if you put
If she wants to go out to dinner, you're going out to dinner.
well, it's part of that, but it's like in some ways it's if there's an effort that's put in, like there's an energy expenditure that comes from that, right? Where it's
Mhm.
like, hey, like you can just pack it in and say, hey, that's it. But if you are putting that time in, you are putting that energy in, that takes work. But in the end, you do know that when you put in that time, work, and energy, you're most likely going to see a return in that relationship. So, and it's not just one-sided. It's not that you're not just doing something to get something out of it necessarily, but there is that same thing with the customer that, hey, like, we're here to build the relationship. Why? Because we want to have a good relationship. What's going to be some of the, in some ways, side effects or the fruit of that in business? It's going to be that you have people saying, hey, that's the guy you want.
Exactly. You build that relationship through the work that you do.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like, I can hit it off with somebody, but if I'm not getting their household or not doing the job, like, oh, I really like that guy, but he didn't do a very good job, so, like, I'm not going to get a referral thing. You know, there's got to be some intent to it. You know, there's more to building a relationship, or just you got to do it. You got to do it right.
Yep. All right, let's wrap it up for the evening. Mason, where can they find you?
At MasonOxendale on the IG. You'll start seeing some new stuff there here shortly.
We keep saying all this. Joe.
Well, if I need these, I mean, I do get quite a few followers every day, but they are from girls who are add me on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Click Finder. Yeah. It's like, dude, no.
Thug shaker.
But I let them
types.
follow me. It's fine with me.
Instagram. Search it _ there. Dumb stuff.
Underscore there.
Yeah. Search
Okay.
it _ there.
Gotcha. Do you have 2 IGs yet?
No. I'm complacent.
We've got a lot of shit going on. You can find what we're doing in construction at SITO _building. And our kind of phrase for probably the next couple months is we're playing chess while they're playing checkers. We bring hammers to work. And until next time, I hope your hammer stays accurate, your Wi-Fi fast, and your work blessed. See everybody.
Have a good night.
I knew you liked the